Today we've got a special guest. This man is the former assistant men's basketball coach for Regis College, Emerson College, Wentworth Institute of Technology, and Curry College. He was also the captain of Regis College between his sophomore and senior year. Uh, Through his final 3 seasons, surpassed 1,000 career points, ranked top 10 in scoring, rebounding, and assists. CC8 Sports welcomes the head coach of the Curry College men's basketball team, Phil Alibrandi.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you having me.
How you doing today?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So we're just going to get right into it. So at what point did it click for you that you wanted to be a basketball coach?
It's just something, basketball has been in my life, as long as I can remember. And, just going to college and playing basketball, it's kind of really when I first got exposed to, the fact that, you can coach as a profession. So, once my career finished up, I knew that I didn't have a year of basketball to look forward to as a player. So I just jumped right into coaching, and lucky enough, Regis took me on, and very thankful for all the coaches that have had me involved in their programs, and have learned a lot from all of them.
Great. And that's honestly great, a great statement leading into my next question. So growing up, were there any coaches across any sports that you looked up to?
Not so much anyone, when you look into the professional world. I just had some really great coaches in my life. I was lucky enough where I had an unbelievable high school coach and an unbelievable assistant high school coaches. I was kind of blessed to both my coaches in high school both played Division I basketball, and really just were able to teach me the game. And I think that's kind of why I was able to play at the college level. I'm not a spectacular athlete. Didn't have any outstanding skills or anything like that. But I think that I was really taught by those guys how to play the right way. So owe a lot to them, and they're always two guys that I've always really looked up to.
That's great. And you spent your last 3 basketball seasons at Wentworth,
Right.
in which last season you helped lead them to the semifinals of the CCC tournament. So in your tenure of being at Wentworth, is there anything that you learned that motivated you to want to be a head coach?
Yeah, I've kind of always had it in the back of my mind since I got into coaching that, my ultimate goal was to be a head coach someday. And, being at Wentworth and just seeing how Coach Galloway ran the program over there definitely helped me a lot to, take some of the things that he does and then kind of put my own little twist on it and bring them into a program the way I would run it. So obviously a ton with Coach Galloway, but also, some of the other coaches I've worked with, just taking, bits and pieces from everyone and kind of putting my own philosophy together from what I've learned from them.
Okay. And speaking of learning, between your time coaching at Regis, Emerson, and Wentworth, what school would you say you had the best experience at?
I would say there was a best experience. Obviously, I learned a lot everywhere, but in terms of I obviously am pretty close with Regis. It's where I went and where I played. The same coach has been there since he actually started the program. I was part of the first ever basketball team in Regis College history, so played there for him for 4 years, and he had me on staff. So Regis is obviously very close to my heart. So I always appreciate the experience I got there from everyone there, and especially Coach Hager.
Great. And being that you're from York, Maine, has it ever crossed your mind, whether it be recent times or in the past, has it ever crossed your mind that you may have wanted to go back home to coach?
Not really. Normally when I tell people I'm from Maine, they think I'm from really, really far up in Maine. But I'm from York, Maine, so it's not incredibly far from here, maybe an hour and a half drive, depending on traffic. But, I'm close enough where, I can still get to my family back in Maine, but since I came out here and went to school, kind of fell in love with the area, and now live here with my family, and we're very happy. And so just bought a house, so nothing, not looking to go back anytime soon.
That's great.
Yeah.
And earlier I mentioned your accolades, your Encore accolades from your collegiate level years. How do you believe that your on-court experience can help the Curry men's basketball team here?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the on-court experience as well as the coaching experience all comes into play. To be able to say, I've been coaching 10 years now, but to be a player and to have 4 years experience as a player, you kind of know what the guys are expecting on the other end. So, I'm taking my experience as a player and my experience as a coach and kind of combining both of those things and trying to provide the best experience for our guys at Curry now and trying to, get them to where we need to be to kind of return to the top of the league.
Great. And with the Curry men's basketball team currently under your wing, what changes should we expect within the next few seasons?
My number one goal is just to get better every single day. And I know that's kind of a cliche answer or a very vague answer, but I think it's kind of unfair to sit here and just say, hey, we're going to play we want to win a championship or we want to be in the playoffs, because those things are a byproduct of getting better every single day. So, we're going to be very intentional about what we're attacking and what we want to get better at on a daily basis. And if we're able to do that, then we're going to at least have a chance. We're going to be in games, and we're going to have opportunity to be a playoff team to contend for a championship. So that's kind of the main focus right now. Is we're taking it day by day, and if we can walk out of practice and say, hey, we got better today, then the wins and losses just kind of take care of themselves.
That's a great way to put that. And looking at your current roster, what do you believe, if there are any that you can name, what do you believe is the advantage that the Curry men's basketball team has over a lot of other teams?
Yeah, there's a couple returning guys. Being in the league the last 3 years, being over at Wentworth, I've seen a couple of the guys play, and I know a couple of them have definitely gained the respect of some of the teams in the league. So a couple good players that I'm looking forward to working with. A lot of guys that I haven't worked with yet that I'm looking forward to starting up with soon here. But just I think what our main advantage is we're a pretty small team, so maybe that's a disadvantage. But to look on the other side of that is we're pretty quick. We got some guys that can handle the ball and shoot it, so it might be a little bit more up tempo for us, which is always a fun way to play. So still some evaluation that we have to do in terms of what our strengths will be. But I think that's something that we can expect is that we're probably going to be kind of guard heavy and a little bit more up tempo.
That's great. And recently, I'm sure you were interviewed after returning to Curry College, but this time as a head coach. You said, "I would like to thank President Quigley, Vinny Urazzini, and all of those on the search committee for believing in my coaching philosophies and values." So with that being said, it's been a while since the Curry men's basketball team has had a winning record. So how will your coaching philosophies impact the recruiting process?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. I think the recruiting process, no matter what anyone kind of tells you, I think that recruiting is, the number one aspect of any college basketball program or any college athletic program for that matter. You show me a great coach and I'll show you some great players. So that's kind of my philosophy on it. The best teams generally have the best players. So it's a focus of our coaching staff to get out there and make sure we're drawing the talent and to help us kind of have Curry return to that championship level that they've been at in the past.
Right. And based off that quote, I have another question. Did you feel as if in the past maybe you weren't valued enough or maybe overlooked with the label assistant coach instead of being the head coach? Or what are your thoughts on that?
No, definitely not. This is, I knew, right when I got into coaching that, this is a difficult business. There's only, X amount of jobs in the country that have, college basketball. So I knew you really had to put your time in. I've been an assistant for 10 years now. So I guess you could say I've put my time in a little bit, but No, never have thought that. I have a lot of respect for all the assistants out there that I know, what the grind's like, and guys are out recruiting every single day and putting in a lot of time. So no, that thought's never crossed my mind. Very excited to have the opportunity to be a head coach, and this is new for me, obviously, and in a different role. But no, that thought's never crossed my mind.
That's good. Stay positive out here. So with the season opener closely approaching on November 9th, home game against Dean College, are there any specific games that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, our league is very, very competitive. So really looking forward to getting into the league. Not to say that, I'm looking past any of our first semester games for the non-league games, but always good to be in the league because our league is so good. Just some really competitive teams. Nichols, Endicott, and previously, I was at Wentworth. They should be very good this year. And then we got a new team coming into the league in Suffolk who's very good. So just really looking forward to getting into the league. We have some pretty good non-league teams coming in. We're actually traveling to Williams College, one of the really highly respected teams in the country. So, looking forward to all of them, but, the league ones are the ones that are going to count the most at the end of the day. So those are the ones that you could say I'm most excited for.
That's great. Do you are you going to end up playing Regis this year?
So we do have a scrimmage with Regis. I got the job a little late here, so I didn't have a ton to do with scheduling. But we are going to scrimmage them. So who knows? Maybe down the road I'll give Coach Hager a call to get them on the schedule. But we'll see.
That's cool. And before we part ways, I'd like to know, what do you believe is the main key to succeeding on and off the court as one unit?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things. You think about, a college basketball coach, and you think about, okay, what kind of adjustments are you going to make on the floor and all these types of things. But there's a lot more that goes into it than just, the basketball. What we try to preach in this program now is, we want to have our kids have a positive experience socially, academically, and athletically. And we're going to focus on, being great members of the community, being great students, and being great athletes. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and we need all of our guys to buy in. And, that's kind of what we're going through right now as we're going through the process of, getting ready for the season and, ultimately practice start up in a couple of days for us. So, I'm just excited to kind of get those things rolling.
That's great. Well, thank you for your time today, Coach Alibrandi.
Yeah.
This has been CC8 Sports Central. Catch you next time.